consider it as a privilege to be with you in this evening time. And this video is 5 years old. And when it was taken, we were aiming at establishing a church every fortnight. Then it turned into every week. And now every church is established on every fourth day. And we want to make it every day under the banner, I must plant a church today. That is impact. So thank God, because it's harvest time, and the Lord is always looking for harvesters and those who are backing also the harvest force. And may the Lord give you the grace to move ahead as MFA presented, and people burdened from here to take the to make it possible. I thank God for the partnership I have personally with the brethren as well as James. I am so thankful. Tonight I would like to bring a little word of God under the topic, what are you doing with the cross? Immediately we'll say, I make a golden cross and wear all the time. I'll put in the church that every time we remember the cross. But many times we don't understand exactly what does it mean to me as well as to a church. I would like to bring a brief picture so that you can understand and see yourself, how do you relate with the cross. Cross was not a holy symbol earlier, as you are well aware, until the Roman Empire came to power. Cross was a sign of curse, abomination. There were a lot of death sentences in different countries. If I remember correct, in Nepal, the death sentence was given to people and they tie a dead body with a man face to face, and he has to carry that, and that body will sting, and the worms will go into the mouth and nose, and that will make the other man sick and die. That's how Nepal was executing the death sentence. You can just understand. In some parts, still it's happening. If you go to Tibet, they just put you in a pit and send some insect which can suck your blood all through until you loses all the blood. In Saudi Arabia, even a prince was beheaded because he murdered a person just 2 months back. And stoning to death was among the Jews. Hanging a person was from the beginning. And electrocuted a person who got the death sentence was there. But the most cruel death sentence was crucifying a person on the cross. And I was going through a doctor's report, what all the pain a man will go through if he is crucified. And he was even narrating, if you put the leg in 45 degrees position, how much his hands and chest will take the load to choke him to death. That was a cruel death Jesus took for me, for you. But if you carefully read the scripture, Jesus was crucified, that we know. If you reason out some ordinary person, they may say, hey, what is special in it? Indira Gandhi was blown off, Rajiv Gandhi was killed, Premadasa was killed, and Abraham Lincoln was shot dead, and Mahatma Gandhi was shot dead. They all worked for a principle, and the people, their own people, killed these great people. In the same way, the Jews killed Jesus, and that was a time the Romans were on the throne, so he was crucified. What is special? But I want to tell you, as a Christian, you must understand, as as long as you are not crucified with Christ, cross is meaningless. We can have Good Friday only when we say that I am crucified with Christ, as Paul says in Galatians 2:20. Please understand this little truth. Cross will be ordinary, cross will be a sign of shame, but it becomes holy to me when I can declare along with Paul, I am crucified with Christ. Until then, cross has got no meaning at all. But what does it mean? Is it going to kill me? Is it going to make me dead? Oh, it does a marvelous job. I would like to read one verse. That is 1 Corinthians 1st chapter verse 18. If you turn with me to 1 Corinthians 1st chapter verse 18, you can understand the beauty of having crucified with Jesus Christ. Verse 18, let me read from the NKJV. For the message of the cross is foolishness to those who are perishing. Let me read it again. For the message of the cross is foolishness to those who are perishing, but to us who are being saved is the power of God. Friends, by crucified along with Jesus Christ, you receive extraordinary power which others cannot face. Let me explain one small thing which happened in our ministry. A French lady, she and her sister were moved by the Spirit of God in one meeting. Her sister was a teacher and this lady was a nurse. They were in the same meeting. There was a challenge. Their father was a pastor there. There was a special meeting. In the meeting there was a mighty move of the Lord, and people received the visions of the Lord and also the call of the Lord. And without each other's knowledge, they both stood. They stood for the altar call. After coming home early, one sister told the other one, hey, committed. Where do you want to go? India. They're French people. Not a single word in English was known to them. But somehow the church encouraged them to go. They bought the ticket, landed in Mumbai. Not having a single word in English, not knowing anyone, they landed in Bombay. And they were in the airport for the Lord to guide them. A man from Tamil Nadu, he was also traveling in the same flight, and he looked at those girls, young girls standing there and trying to talk with somebody, but they couldn't speak English. But this man, since he was living in Paris, he went to them and said, what do you want? Where do you want to go? They said, don't know. Huh? You come all the way from Paris and you don't know where to go. They said, we have got a call to work among the Indians. We are coming here. And then during the conversation, he said, I know a pastor in Chennai. I can send you there. So he gave the address of Pastor Sundaram and gave them the address and bought them the ticket and placed them in the, board them in the flight. So they traveled from Mumbai to Chennai. When they went and met Pastor Sundaram, Pastor Sundaram said, I don't have a call to do social work, I'm a preacher. But anyway, Pastor Sundaram recommended Pastor Chaladurai, the father of Sam Chaladurai, you must be knowing, a singer and a pastor, Sam Chaladurai's father. So somehow that Pastor Chaladurai showed them the deep village called Urapakam. It's near Gudanjeri. If you're acquainted with Chennai, if we want to ridicule somebody, we'll say, Gudanjeri. That is how we ridicule people, calling them by the name of Kuduvanjeri. And he showed just a place very near to Kuduvanjeri. And then these two people went without a single word of Tamil. And they took some children, thrown away babies, started an orphanage. They were there for 17 years. Of course, cheated by many servants of God. They moved from one to another. That's always happening. They moved to Tambaram, East Tambaram. And there they had a home and they were there and having 36 children under their care. And they were making them people and they became mother for them and they were living with their grandchildren even. That time my meeting was there and these sisters came. One sister, she stood up for the altar call to come to Bihar. She came to me, Brother Jebakumar, will you take me to Bihar? I said, I can take you, but 3 things you must know. The language is again new, and you learn Tamil somehow. You could manage English, but there again Hindi. And some of the people, they don't know Hindi even, they speak Bhojpuri. If you speak Hindi, they will ask, why do you speak in English? And that is the condition of Bihar. Number one. Then we are in a rented house. We don't have a place. Will you manage? She said, okay. And the climate, extreme climates, it goes up to 46 and comes down to 3 in winter. Will you? She said, when you can do that, why not me? So we took her to Bihar. In Bihar, we could find a small space in our house under the steps. It is you can see it's in the triangle shape because it was a small house. We were having 15 children in one room. That was a home. And another family helping in the ministry with one boy, one child in one room. 12 disciples on the top in one room and they got a study room and toilet facilities. And there was one common kitchen. Me and my family, that's my 2 children and myself and my wife. And there was one more young girl. We had only 1 bedroom. So we put a screen. The young girl was sleeping on the other side. We were doing the family's life on the other side. You can understand. And there was no other room. And we had to store the literature, other stuff for the ministry. We always get truck full of literature, so we dumped everywhere. So I took her name was Susie, Sister Susie, the only one place under this tent. I can do one thing, I can put some cardboard and cover that so that we can have a, she was happy. Hey, I could find a place. I tell you, it was not easy for a French lady living under the triangle shape, which is 4 feet wide and 8 feet long, and cardboard as a door. Listen, she came to me after having her luggage there. Anand, I need something to do. Okay, I said, you don't know the language, you just be with us. And you be a little bit help to my wife when she's taking care of these 15 children. You cannot speak, but at least you can help these children. She said, I have seen the whole building. There are 4 tiles. I will clean every tile, I said. It was not easy again. After some time, I wanted to go to visit a very remote part, very primitive area where we had a mud house. And she said, shall I join you? We were 6 people, we went there. And there was a small pond from which people should drink, bathe, and that water is to wash the buffaloes also. And she said, I want to live here. I asked the question first time, that time, how come you live in such a small place, being a lady? 15 village children. They were very, very village type children. They could make the toilets so dirty, but you were happily washing those things all through. Now you are able to live in a hut which has got little water facility where the buffaloes are taking up. You take the water, heat it up, and then drink. She said, the power of cross. I suck power from the cross every day. I said, I tell you, I have also gone through difficulties in life. From the beginning of my ministry and even today, nothing stops me. Nothing stops me sleeping under the tree. After serving as a missionary for 45 years, nothing stops me, but it shook me. That was the first day I heard I received the power from the cross. To face anything, to do anything. People normally used to say, with Jesus I can do all things. But I don't know how much it is true. They always quote, with Jesus we can do. But they are not crucified with Jesus. But if they crucify themselves with Jesus, I tell you, I promise you, I guarantee you, you will drive power to meet any challenge. Friends, what are you doing with the cross? Let me read that words again. For the message of the cross is foolishness to those who are perishing, but to us who are being saved, it is the power of God. That day transformed me. Even though I left my job and I was living like a stranger, living like a Pradesi, but that day transformed me. I derived the strength and the power to face any challenges that made me more stronger to go any level. Friends, tonight the Lord is speaking to you. Do you derive the power to live for the Lord from the cross? The second thing I would like to show you is from the epistle to Hebrews. Turn with me to 6th chapter of Hebrews. Hebrews 6th chapter, verses 6 to 8, if you read, you will immediately say, you are not denying the cross. Or you may say, we don't crucify. No, Jesus. Being a Christian, I am crucified with Jesus, the first step. But sometimes slowly, without understanding the purpose of our life, we are driven to a place where we crucify Christ. Immediately everybody here will say, oh no, we don't crucify Christ. But I want to read those verses. 6th chapter, Hebrews 6th chapter, verses 6, 7, 8. Let me read from the middle. Since they crucify again for themselves the Son of God and put him to an open shame. For the earth which drinks in the rain that often comes upon it, bears herbs useful for those by whom it is cultivated, receives blessing from God. But if it bears thorns and briars, it is rejected and near to being cursed, whose end is to be burned. What does it mean by crucifying Jesus again on the cross? In Tamil it's beautiful. It says, how come? அவர்கள் இயேசுவை சிலுவையில் அறைகிறார்களே எப்படி எனில், they fail to bear the right sends rain. That's why there's a rain. To bless the land, and the farmer cultivates so that it can bring the required fruit according to the taste of the farmer. Everyone may say, I bear fruit. But shall I ask a question? Do you bear a fruit which is expected from you? That's a very important question you must answer. God brought everybody into His garden, and He planted you, watered you, guarded you, protected you from the attacks of insects, attacks of the enemy, attacks of the animals, attacks of the wild beast, with a great purpose. Do you bring fruits according to His expectation? I'm not going to elaborate the whole thing. I would like to throw a powerful question which you should answer, otherwise there is judgment. I'm not trying to threaten you. The Bible says, if I'm not bringing the right fruit, expected fruit, what would be my condition? Shall I ask this question? Don't answer me, but you answer yourself. I was in Chennai in my office. Somebody very much wanted to see me. I was busy in a meeting, and the persons over there, they came to me, Anand. He's a young lad, very much wanted to touch you and hug you and get prayed for. He's only 11 years. Please give 5 minutes. So I left the meeting and went away, and then I saw a 11-year-old. He hugged me and he was full of joy. He said, Thambi, you're so young. What made you to come and see me? Uncle, I was challenged by you. I said, what? 2 years back, I was in a meeting and your message was so powerful, it touched my heart. And I said to myself, I'm 9 years old. I'm not telling a story, I'm telling an exact real thing happened in Chennai. And my house is in a place that people never wanted to live, so we don't have electricity. But I go to the government school, corporation school, and in order to do my homework, I sit under the street light. My mother works in few homes washing the dishes, washing the clothes, get some money, and we have 3 children. My father absconded. He was a good man, but no, we didn't know what happened to him. So my mother had to take care of 3 of the children. I am the eldest, 9 years old. Somehow I attended a meeting. We don't have much to eat. We don't have a light so that I can do my homework at home. We got a very small bottle with a wick. My mother finds some kerosene or mobile oil and burn it for our light. So I go to the street light, which is so bright, and do all my homework. I said, Thambi, it's so sad to see. Oh, don't get agitated. I'm coming to this office, your office, every month. I said, what for? He said, I come every month to give some offering to your work. I said, Today also I came with some money to give, and I was told that you are here, that I want to hug you. Actually, I was in tears. You are giving offering? How? He said, Uncle, morning I go to school by 9 o'clock. My mother left 7 o'clock, so I got 2 hours. In the 2 hours, I go house to house to collect the old newspaper and sell it. And every month I bring 150 to 200 rupees to give you, so that will be a believes. And I wanted to hug you, but at the same time I want you to pray. A day should come, I must be able to support one missionary. Friends, it makes me so humble. I see servants of God living in luxury. I see they live in all pumps and they do everything. But the ministry in such an area which you have seen is supported by such people, those who are committed and bring forth fruits according to the Master's expectation. Again, I had a chance to meet him in the beginning of this year. He said, "Uncle, I have reached 1,700 rupees now." He's 11 years, now he's getting into 12. According to my understanding, he's not a boy when he's still a child. Every month, he brings 1,700 rupees. And again he wanted me to say something. Please pray. I'm a first sponsor to one worker. Before I reach 15, I want to see somebody in my place to preach the gospel, because Jesus may come before that. Friends, I'm not telling you a story. I met the mother, and she told me, I'm proud of my son. I'm so proud of my son. I said, why don't he give you some money, because you need money to take care of these 3 children. She said, I bring fruit to take care of these 3 children to be missionaries one day. Amen. That is expected from me. And he brings fruit to represent a missionary. That is his expectation. And God expected that fruit from him and this fruit from him. So I will never ask any money, never touch his money. I'm not here to threaten you. I'm not here to bring a guilt in the heart. But if I desire to bring fruits according to his expectation, you can go to any level. Any level. Any level. Friends, many times we say, you don't crucify Christ. But if you see yourself in the mirror of these verses, you can understand what do you do with the cross. The third thing I would like to bring is Philippians chapter 3. Verse 18 and 19. Here, the Lord wants us to show some of the enemies of the cross. Let me tell. When we think of enemies of cross, you may think of Bajrang Dal, RSS, ISS, all these things. We think they are the enemies of the Nigerians, those who are killing Christians, or RSS, those who are beating people. No. My Bible says differently. For many walk, of whom I have told you often, and now tell you even weeping, that they are the enemies of the cross of Christ, whose end is destruction, whose God is their belly, whose glory is their shame, because they set their mind on earthly things. If I set my mind on earthly things, then naturally, by virtue, I become an enemy of the cross. There's no need for me to explain the whole thing. Bible is so clear and so plain. Yesterday, one brother met me in the meeting, and he said, I am troubled all the time while reading 5th, 6th, 7th chapter of Matthew. Because Jesus said, if your eye is stumbling to you, pluck it out. That Jesus took everything on the cross. You walk as you like, live as you like. I don't know how much you are aware of this hyper grace and super grace. This is written by Paul. It's not written by Jesus, even written by Paul. He said, tears, I cry for such people. They are enemies of the cross because their mind is set on earthly things. What is the percentage of your mind on heavenly things? I'm not asking the total mind of you on heavenly things. What is the percentage of your mind? I'm not talking about anything else. Your mind. What is the percentage of your mind on heavenly things and earthly things? Then you will understand. Go back home, take a paper and check how much you spend your money for perfumes, toilet items, and for the kingdom of God. Then you will understand how much your earthly perfumes are needed, otherwise you will stink. Please use. Toilet papers are necessary and you need. But comparatively, how much my time, my talents, my money is being given in the mind. I'm not talking in practice, in the mind, on heavenly things. Check. I would like to bring the fourth point, which is very powerful to me. I don't know about you. Turn with me to Mark 15th chapter. Mark 15th chapter. There you come across a scene where Jesus is carrying a cross. Let me read those verses, then you will understand the importance of those verses. Verse 21. Mark Gospel, 15th chapter, verse 21. Then the Roman soldiers compelled a certain man, Simon, a Cyrenian, the father of Alexander and Rufus, as he was coming out of the country and passing by, to bear his cross. This verse connected with a lot of things. I don't know how many of you understand. I would like to bring few things. Simon is from Libya. He's a Libyan. He came to Jerusalem because he believed Jehovah God and he wanted to give sacrifice. He came for the Passover, for the sake of his family, to bring blessings to the family. He never heard about Jesus Christ. He was a black man in a Jewish country. This black man was returning home. Now all of a sudden he saw a crowd of people taking Jesus to Golgotha. Jesus was stumbling several times. You know, if you read the gospel story, even the sweat of Jesus was coming out as blood. And Jesus was beaten like anything for 39 whipping. You might have seen the film Passion. You might have heard the interview of the hero of that film who acted as Jesus Christ. He said he had a big, shoulder hurt because the shoulder came down. And they wanted to film the whole thing in a natural way. When there was cloud, there was lightning, and he had this displaced shoulder, and he was thrown by the soldiers, and the film was done in that condition. And when he was crucified, the lightnings were sharp, real lightning. It's not the computerized, morphed, or photoshopped lightning. It came and struck him, and it was flowing through his bones. If you hear his testimony in YouTube, you will understand. It is in YouTube. Listen. If you want to realize the condition of Jesus Christ, he lost blood. His flesh was torn because, as Isaiah said, he was brutally beaten. And even Jesus said, I broke my body for your sake. It was broken, really broken. That's why Jesus was having giddiness, and he fell several times. And the Roman soldiers were busy in making that assignment complete in time. They were not getting overtimes all the time like you. If you work for 1 more hour, then you will get more time, more money. No, they were not given. So they have given an assignment, they have to finish it up. If they finish in 3 hours, they can go home. If it takes 6 hours, they have to stay back. And these Roman soldiers were in a hurry to drive Jesus to Golgotha. So they were looking for somebody. They cannot touch a Jew because already Jews are in full angry, and they never wanted to help Jesus. There would be a riot if they touch a Jew. So this man, a black man, a stranger going, so they pull him, made him to take the cross. That's the story behind it. When Simon was lifting up the cross, the research said the weight of the cross was 150 kilos. It was too heavy. An ordinary person can take 1 bag of cement, which is 50 kilos. But here 150 kilo weight. And this, Simon looked at Jesus, but anyway, he has been forced, has been surrounded by the soldiers, was lifting, walking slowly, not knowing Jesus is the Son of God, not knowing he is helping somebody to do a great redemption job on the cross. I want to tell you, he was soaked by the blood of Jesus. And at last they reached the Golgotha, and he was standing there. The first word about Jesus came to introduce Jesus was by the centurion. After hearing, Father, forgive them, he was shaken. How come he pray a prayer to forgive these people? And at the end of that thing, the centurion knelt down and said, he is the Son of God. He is the righteous man. There he was introduced Jesus as the Son of God. He found now, yes, Son of God. Now he said, my sacrifice in the temple is nothing, is all in vain. Here is a man, Son of God, died in my place. He went home, and the message of resurrection reached later. The whole family became Christian, whole society became Christian because of his influence. And his children, Alexander and Rufus, were become so great. I want to tell you, Mark wrote his gospel to Romans. Romans were in the power. During Romans Empire, Alexander and Rufus were so famous. That is why Mark had to write, Simon, father of Alexander and Rufus. Do you want your children famous? That's why you are running, isn't it? You are making money to make your children and you are doing everything because the delight of your life is your children. But I want to tell you, sir, if you want to see your children famous in the kingdom, do one thing. Carry the cross. Carry the cross. You can cannot carry the cross today, but you can do one thing. Before the time comes, the work should be done. The message of this gospel will be preached everywhere. Then the end will come. The world is driving you. The spirit of Antichrist is driving the church so that it can have its rule. But I want to tell you, if you quicken this process, the end will come to the kingdom of Satan. A new day will dawn. Will you take up the cross of reaching the people with the message of the cross to the uttermost part of the world, in which MFA people, they came here, studied here as Brother John narrated, and they felt, no, what we do is not right. We should take the gospel to the nooks and corners possible way. We cannot touch every village in Bihar. Bihar has got 45,000 villages. They cannot reach 45,000 villages, but at least they could do what they can. This challenge today, if you really mean business with God, if you really consider cross, you will sing like the old reverend of an Anglican church, Sandhyavu. He sang a song. Brother who is on the keyboard, please come and help me. I want to sing that song, which is very, very close to my heart all the time. You may be knowing, you can join. Tirandasti uyarnda kalvi செல்வாக்குகள் மிக இருப்பினும் திரண்ட ஆஸ்தி உயர்ந்த கல்வி செல்வாக்குகள் மிக இருப்பினும் குருசை நோக்கி பார்க்க எனக்கு 84-year-old lady in Nagarkoil. She came and she was kissing my hands again and again. I asked her, "Grandma, why do you do this?" She said, "I am praying every day. Please sleep from 2 to 4 without any problem. Never think about it. Early morning 2 to 4. I said, "What do you mean by that?" She said, 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. She was so fragile, so skinny and bony. Not a single hair was black. She came with a walking stick. She said, "I'm standing in the presence of God just for you 2 hours every day, from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. I lift my hands up and I plead and intercede for you. Be bold. Be bold." She's no more now. She's no more now. But you can ask Esther and Macmillan. I'm not getting sleep from 2 to 4 hours. My sleep is very much disturbed. They ask every day morning, "Did you sleep well?" I said, "I woke up by 3 o'clock. I woke up by 2:30. Now today also I remember that old lady. She was standing on her knees the early morning, 2 to 4. She was praying. But this small person, I was not related to her. And I wanted to hug her. And she said, "Don't be thankful to me. I'm doing my job." And she said, "I'm living on a government pension, 400 rupees a month. I cannot give you money. I don't have anyone in this world. I go to the church. I don't have anyone in the world. So if you do something for me or appreciate me, thank me, I will not have the reward over there. Don't do that. I can just hold you or name prayer. Not more than that." Today she's no more in this world. When I heard her death, I wept like a baby. I didn't cry when my father died. I didn't go when my mother died. Even though there was an opportunity for me to go, I didn't go to bury my mother, even though I'm the only son. But I wept very bitterly when that old lady died. Of course, I heard the news after a month. But I cried. Lord, my brother said, "Here is a man brought lot of souls." True. By the grace of God, God has used me and my team to bring thousands wherever I go. I've been to 60 countries. Wherever I go, people are serving God, people are in the ministry, people are following the Lord very vigorously because they hear my message in the YouTube. As well as in Bihar, in North India, you go to Punjab, you will find thousands of people following the Lord because of my Hindi messages in the TV. I come across people, go to Maharashtra, go to Andhra. I'm so blessed because God has given me the favor. I always wonder and always stand with a humbleness, saying, "Lord, it's not me." People like those old women, those who are standing on the knees, the reward should go to them. It's துயரோடு அன்பு. மன்னா இதை போன்ற காட்சி எந்த நாளிலே எங்கேயும் காணவில்லை. That's why I identify myself with the cross, because I haven't seen anything like it. சென்னிவீலா கை காணின்று சிந்துதோ துயரோட அன்பு. சென்னிவீலா கை காணின்று சிந்துதோ துயரோட அன்பு. மன்னாயினை போன்ற காட்சி, மன்னாயினை போன்ற காட்சி எந்த நாளிலும் எங்குமே காணேன், எந்த நாளிலும் எங்குமே காணேன். விந்தை கீழிஸ்தே சுராஜா உந்தன் சிலுவையின் மேன்மை, உந்தன் சிலுவையின் மேன்மை. Shall we sing that 2 lines by standing, saying, I don't want to give an altar call, but already God has touched many of you. Already those who are walking with the Lord, you are getting a touch of the Lord so that you can go a little deeper. And your commitment is getting deeper. Only those first 2 lines. Vindai kiri suraja undan siluvayil மேன்மை, உந்தன் சிலுவையில்